G'day, ZiggyD here with another Path of Exile guide, and in today's video I'm going to be killing a monkey. No, this video will be much more detailed than that. I'm actually going to be talking about how I clear Act 2 Merciless. Now I need to turn this volume down firstly because it is blasting my eardrums. Alrighty. So I'm going to be going over this in a fair amount of detail actually, a bit more than I went over in Act 1. I did a video a little while ago on clearing Act 1, but Act 2 is one of the most interesting acts to clear. It has a lot of different stuff, a lot of different ways you can go about clearing it, and I'm going to just be talking about what I consider to be a reasonably efficient and fun way to do it. I actually really enjoy clearing Act 2. I just love the way it's laid out, the dual ways that you can go, and just the ways that the zones are structured in the different zones and how you can farm in here. So let's start off with, when you first come into Act 2, you will be in the forest, otherwise known as Monkey Central. Now, 90% of you guys are just going to want to clear this, not even clear, just run point A to point B and kill off any monkeys that, you know, happen to surround you. Try not to get surrounded, try not to get stuck in any trees, because these monkeys will kill you pretty quickly if they surround you. However, that said, if you are a build that has a lot of physical mitigation, primarily armor, then you might as well farm in here a few levels. As you can see, these guys can't hurt me at the moment. Now I'm a couple levels over leveled for this, but you know, when you first come in this zone, if you've got high armor and good endurance charges and granite flasks and all that good jazz, this stuff won't kill you. You can actually farm in here pretty efficiently as well. So, but only if you are one of those physical mitigation builds. It's just way too dangerous for anyone who's not one of those builds. Yeah. Skip it, otherwise skip it. So the level for this is level 57, and if you are below level 57, you can actually get pretty close to level 57 just doing runs in here if you are one of those armor mitigation style builds. Otherwise, just run it point A to point B, get to town as quickly as possible, and shoot straight to Infill Shrine. So with that in mind, I'm going to just finish killing these monkeys, and stuck behind a tree at the moment. We'll jump into Lion Eyes, and we'll continue on. So. No, why is it taking me to Lion Eyes? Game, what are you doing? Okay, so I think sometimes when you use a town portal when you haven't jumped back down, you actually want to run. You can't use a town portal if you haven't first run to town in Act 2. Anyway, let's open this back up. Once you get to town, the first thing you're going to want to do is run all the way to Infill Shrine. Now make sure you pick up this waypoint in here. And I'm actually going to waypoint to this zone for you guys, so I can show how to go about farming Infill Shrine, because Infill Shrine will be where you spend most of your time in Act 2. And that is because it is the safest, the most boring, although I kind of personally enjoy it. It's the safest and the most reasonable way to get experience for most builds in Act 2. Now some people can farm Chamber of Sins, but Infill Shrine is by far the safest for the majority of players. So there's a few ways you can farm Infill Shrine. You can run point A to point B, and that's best done with a group, and that is just by going along the road. Pretty much don't stray much further than this away from the road, and make sure everyone sticks together. Most parties will do this, and most parties know this already, but if your party members start wandering off and chasing down chests and things like that, just let them know to stick together. But if you're doing it solo, you can pretty much zigzag across the map like this. So if I open this map, just like run around like this, and you know, try and go inside the walls whenever you come to walls, and just go like that. But the first time you enter Infill Shrine, what you want to do is just clear along the road. So we'll just follow the road all the way along here, leap slamming, good fun stuff. And you want to get into the entrance. And while I'm just leap slamming this distance, I just want to point out that all of you guys are looking ridiculously handsome today, and all of you ladies looking ridiculously beautiful today. Just wanted to point that out. It's just something that struck me. So you want to go enter this church here and jump straight down into this doorway here, and make sure you grab this waypoint, because what you're going to do to farm Infill Shrine is you are going to, as soon as you get in, you're going to activate this. From town, you're going to use this waypoint to enter, and then you're going to create a new instance on this door by control clicking Infill Shrine here, and then once you get to the other side, you're going to go to the doorway to Crossroads, and then just control click back into Infill Shrine. Now something to be incredibly careful of is, especially if you have long loading screens, when you zone into Crossroads, there will sometimes be mobs on that doorway, and although you have that 10-second grace period, if you have very long load screens, and this has happened to me before, you can die there, and that can be pretty devastating on hardcore, especially if you're playing with a party, because your party members can attract the enemies there, and they'll be waiting at the doorway when you zone in, and you will die. If you have long load screens, I highly recommend portaling back to town and starting at the opposite end or skipping around, you know, doing whatever you can to avoid that, or just being super careful about that. And if your load screen is very long, just Alt F4 out of the game, because nothing worse than dying on a load screen. It does happen occasionally, even with the grace period, so just be very careful of that. Now, actually, in Infill Shrine Ruins, I'll just talk a bit about what you need in terms of defensive capabilities. There's not very many elemental things to worry about in Infill Shrine. The only thing is uniques and, rare and magic mobs that have added fire and cold damage. So a little bit of fire and cold resist is good. Something like 30% is usually enough to get by, as long as you have a reasonable amount of energy, shield, or health, depending on what type of build you are. You also want some form of physical mitigation, because the rolling stones, can hit pretty hard, and skeleton archers can hit pretty hard as well. So you want to be careful of those. And that physical mitigation can be either armor or it can be evasion as well. Evasion-based builds can do perfectly fine in Infill Shrine Ruins. So just make sure you have your defenses sorted out a little bit, but overall it's not a particularly dangerous zone. The only thing I don't recommend killing is those rolling stones in general, especially rare or blue mobs of the rolling stone creatures, the golems basically, because they take way too long to kill. It's just going to kill your efficiency. So basically you can level to Fell Shrine. I've seen people level to 70 in Fell Shrine, but that's just way too painful. Level to like 64 or something like that I usually do before I start progressing on. And around that point, you're going to want to start looking for parties for Chamber of Sins. However, in the meantime, there is something else you can do. You can go back to town around level 64 or something like that. Go back to town, run this zone, so just run straight through river crossings. You don't even really have to kill anything in river crossings, just be careful not to get surrounded in there. And then run through the Dark Forest. Make sure you get the waypoint in the Dark Forest. That's very important, because you will be using it later on. Again, just be careful in Dark Forest. It's not particularly dangerous. You can still run point A to point B. Just make sure you get that waypoint. And then you're going to go to the Western Forest. So I'm going to use the waypoint to get to Western Forest here, and just explain a little bit about what's going on here. Now, people used to farm Western Forest, and there are some guides that will show you how to farm Western Forest. However, I don't at all recommend that anymore. Now, I don't actually know which direction I'll have to be going in. I'm going to guess this way. And that is because they recently nerfed the fact that you don't get experience from exploding guys anymore. So previously, guys here would explode, and you would get experience for them dying. Now, that's pretty good. That would be pretty good, because it means you didn't actually have to kill anything here. You could just run around and have them explode on you, and you would get plenty of experience that way. So that was always good, but it's really not worth farming the zone now. You can still get faster experience in here than you can in Fell Shrine, even though it's 2 levels under leveled, for a while if you want to level up. But it's just way too dangerous. These exploding mobs and enemies that deal chaos damage and enemies that deal lots of fire damage, it's just way too dangerous. I'm going to go ahead and explode these guys now. This should be fun. This build is hilariously enjoyable. Now, your primary purpose for being in here, and make sure you grab the waypoint, and the waypoint now is along the road, as you saw there. You're going to want to run straight to the end of the zone, and you're going to have to kill this guy. That's why you want to wait until you're a decent level before coming back here, because this guy's pretty tough. You can see I'm pretty over leveled for this zone, and look how much damage this guy takes. He resists elemental damage, and he does a ton of damage with his dual strike. Check out this. I even need to back off a bit here to use my proper defensive abilities here. He's dangerous, but you need to kill him now. They changed the quest. Before you could just run and ignore him completely and grab the stone, but now you do actually need to kill him, so you gotta be careful with that one, and make sure you don't die even though when you're a higher level. Jesus. So kill off this guy, and he will drop a stone. He doesn't drop anything else, unfortunately. And you're gonna want to take that stone, just run straight in here, activate this quest, and this one here, finish that quest, and then go back to Act 1 and grab your reward, which is a free skill point. You want to do that at this point, because it'll get the waypoint for later, and it'll give you that reasonably easy skill point. So let's go ahead and jump back to town. So while you're doing that, or after you've done that, you can go back to farming Infill Shrine for a while. Man, I'm just getting exploded there. And you don't want to look for a party of Chamber of Sins. Now, you can do Chamber of Sins solo, especially the first level, and some people even farm the first level. It's actually very efficient to farm there. It's just a bit more dangerous than Infill Shrine is, but more interesting. So if you've bought a Infill Shrine, you can farm Chamber of Sins level 1. But you want to look for a party in Chamber of Sins to do the quest, basically, and that's your next point of call there. Now, that quest is pretty dangerous. The guy at the end level 3 is the level 3 in general is very dangerous. There's a lot of lightning damage in there, so I highly recommend capping your lightning resist when you go in there, and just doing that through like lightning resist rings or something like that. Chuck a few of those on just for this zone, because the lightning skeletons in there, the lightning casters, are incredibly dangerous, and the final enemy does a lot of lightning damage through his lightning strikes attacks. So very careful. I recommend going into this with a full party. So just look for a party. Like maybe if we open up the social panel here, there might be a Chamber of Sins. No, there's like no parties at all at this time. But try your best to look for a party there and do that. And if while you're waiting for a party, you can just keep farming Fell Shrines essentially. So once you've done that guy, your next objective then, or sometimes you can do it before, is to go to Dark Forest. Now I'm going to do this just to show you guys how to go about finding the quest in here. But you're going to want to grab the, I believe it's Malagara's Spike from here, and it's from the spider area. So essentially what you're going to do is you'll start off in the waypoint here, and you kind of just want to veer off the road in one of these directions and hope you've got the right direction. Most of the time if you just veer off like this, you'll have the right direction. And what we're looking for is a webbed area. I'll show you guys once I find it. I might have to cut a bit out if this takes too long. But I might have gone in the wrong direction here. Hopefully not. I think I might have had to have head north instead. But we'll do some good leaps. I mean, this is a good build for doing these sorts of videos. Here we go. You can see on the map there, before you even get anywhere near it, the white trees there signify the entrance for this particular quest here. So we'll just leap over all of these spiders, and the entrance should be north somewhere in this spiderweb area. Now if you come to a zone where it starts to zone out like that, then you've gone too far and you need to go back. So we're going to head over to the right here. These guys are pretty dangerous. These fire snakes are pretty dangerous. You're going to want some good fire resistant here, is always good. And here is the entrance, and we'll just talk about this zone here. Now, there's two things that are quite dangerous in here. There's getting lots of venom snacks from viper striking spiders in here. They're only dangerous if you let yourself get covered with those venom stacks. If you get a venom stack, immediately back out or port back to town, because what happens with the enemy AI here, maybe I can find some of these guys to show you guys, is that once you have one stack of venom on you, so you'll see that from the little green floating orb and a little notification up here. These guys are just all normal spiders. Yeah, these guys use viper striking. I'll just kill these little ones. So maybe I can get one of these guys to do it. You notice, they're not really applying Viper Strikes, but now that I have a Viper Strike, they're going to, like, very quickly apply more and more Viper Strikes, and you can see how dangerous this gets. So, at this point, I actually need to pull back to town, because that's actually pretty dangerous. So for those guys, as soon as you get one Viper Strike, back off until the Viper Strike wears off. That'll keep you alive. Pull back to town. It'll go away when you go back to town, and then go back in. The other one to worry about is the flicker striking spiders. If you have granites or other good physical mitigation, you'll be okay. Otherwise, you just need to move through there with totems. Send your totems in first, or go through with a party. You can do that zone pretty easily solo if you are careful. Flicker strikers can be taken out just by drawing them out one by one, and the Venom Strike guys and Viper Strike guys are not at all dangerous if you pay attention to your Viper Strike. It's only if you tune out and get multiple stacks that will kill you, because as I said, that AI prioritizes putting more stacks on you if you have stacks on there. They're pretty vicious little buggers. But once you've done that quest, you can turn in the quest and you'll get the what's the name to go to go here. Once you've got that, you just want to run along this zone, and I'll actually show you the easiest way to find the quest for this zone. So we'll go into river crossings. Once you have the quest item you need to kill the roots to the tree, we can just head along the road, and we'll use our leap slamming ability here. Good fun to run along the road. Now what you're looking for is a little broken edge to the path. So nothing yet, nothing yet. It'll usually be somewhere along halfway along, but it's it's pretty RNG based, so you might have to go further or not further depending on how far it is. But by this point, this zone should not be very dangerous for you at all, as long as you don't get surrounded. Leap slams are great to have because you can leap over those creeks. I love that. But nothing yet, nothing yet, nothing yet. But we should be seeing this little exit section in just a second. Can I leap over it? Yes, I can leap over it. Leap strike, leap slam, or there we go. You'll see these two little pillars here and this stony area here. Once you get to this, you just want to head along. Follow this along, and you'll get to the roots there, and you can use the roots on Vile Ruins. Now, once you've activated that, you need to clear Vile Ruins until you at least break the seal. Once you've broken the seal, you can join any party in any zone beyond that, but you need to break that seal yourself. So you're going to want to clear Vile Ruins 1 and 2, I believe it is, to break that seal. And you don't really need the waypoint in there. As you can see, I didn't grab the waypoint in there. you're never going to come back there once you've broken the seal, so that's pretty good stuff. Once you get there, you can clear pools and streams, and if you are feeling fairly confident, you can start farming Waterfall Cave. So we'll go into Waterfall Cave here. Now, you know, any time that you're looking for a party, if you want to be making this as efficient as possible, you can be farming Fell Shrine Ruins. But otherwise, we can go to Waterfall Cave, and I'll show you the run that you do in Waterfall Cave. But this is a pretty decent farming zone. The DGM, it's a little bit dangerous, but as long as you've, you know, if you're a bit over level 60 at this point, you know, 62, 63, 64 maybe, you can do pretty good. So what you do is you come into the waypoint, then you head backwards, and you just clear this zone back to the entrance, and then restart it again. So you got these Viper Striking guys, just avoid their Viper Strikes, they're not too dangerous really. And other than that, this zone's not too bad, and the experience is quite good. Since it's a point A to point B sort of zone, pretty fast and pretty efficient experience, and it's a nice place to farm until you can get some nice quests. So once you're farming there for a little while, once you're feeling confident, then what you're going to want to do is go and get your bandit quests done, because before you can go kill Val, you have to finish your bandit quests. So the first one to go here is just waypoint in at Crossroads, run to the end to the broken bridge, and do the bandit there. Now you can either do that with a grip. The easiest way is to form your own party and make set the title to, you know, killing bandit, whatever, and have people join you in if you need to. Otherwise you can just do it solo, or if you're not killing him, don't kill him, depending on what type of reward you're getting. And then your other one, you can just you should already have the waypoint for Western Forest, so use that waypoint and just remember how we how that little path that came off in River Crossings to find the quest there. That's one of those that's been added to Western Forest as well. So run along the road until you see that, and then it'll take you to the bandit camp, so you can do the bandit there. And then the final one is Oak. Hopefully you're not killing Oak, because Oak's a pain to kill. But if you're killing Oak, then you're best off grabbing a party for him. And once you have that, you can simply join a quest to kill Val. You might have to clear through a few levels or send one guy running to kill Val. Your resistance is pretty solid by this point, especially lightning resist. There are also quite a few chaos enemies in there, so if you can get some chaos resist, that's pretty helpful. Otherwise you're going to make sure you've really got your life sorted out. Pretty dangerous, but if you're running with a full party, not a particularly dangerous run, you know, if you've leveled correctly in these other zones. So anyway, hopefully you guys have found this helpful. That's how I go about clearing Act 2. As I said, I really like it. I love the way you sort of just jump around between the different zones, and yeah, it's kind of fun to farm as well. I enjoy farming the various zones in this particular act. Anyway, that's it for now. I'm ZiggyD, and thanks for watching.